Hey up. Right. So this is going to be well, coming back to the promise that I made that I would show you a way to make you help your wrists become more extensible to be able to do the wheel pose or the 4.4 bridge pose. The bridge pose is, in this regard, is just so helpful for enlivening the body. So to have nice flexible wrists is very useful. So this is the 4.4 bridge pose, or the wheel, the full wheel. And when you do have this in the capacity of your flexibility, then the pose is just, it's kind of simple but engaging. It's very facilitatory to help promote your your vitality to rise, a sense of rising up through your body. So wrists, very important, because let's put it into perspective. If we have a wrist that can bend back into a nice extensible position, then it takes a lot of strain out of the back having to compensate for that, or the knees having to compensate for, or any other part of the body having to compensate for that deficit. So very useful to actually limber these up. This is the joints. It will also help to loosen off the tendons and the musculature, but it's the joints that we want to loosen primarily, so help the capsule of the joints become a bit more extensible. So it's into extension we're primarily looking at, so the extension of the wrists that's the most useful. We can also help the flexibility of the flexion of the wrist as well. The flexion of the wrists is more of a muscular problem. If it's tight, if we haven't got enough flexion in the wrist, it's more of a thing to do with the tightness of the muscles themselves. So being at the computer for so long in the extended position, these muscles can shorten. Whereas the other way, so in other words, when we go into that direction, those shortened muscles will be tight. But when we go into that direction, when we go into a full extension, it's usually the joints that are the inhibiting factor. And it can be the muscles as well, it can be the tendons, of course. But it's useful to actually get the understanding that the capsule, the covering, the membrane, if you want, around the joints, helping to encapsulate the synovial fluid, can get quite constrained. So let's go through an exercise that could be quite useful for it. And this is the extension of the wrist exercise. So I'm going to put my left hand down on the floor. Remember, this is a mirror image, so this is my left hand, not my right, even though it looks like my right. And then I'm going to put my right hand on the top of the left wrist. So the palm of the left hand is on the floor. Take my knees back into a comfortable position so I'm not having to arch my body too much. The forefinger and thumb spread out, so the web space between the thumb and the forefinger just goes over the top of the crease of the wrist that's formed on the floor. Then bring the knees a little bit closer. Traction up, so I'm pulling up with the whole of my arm, and obviously because my other hand is on top and I'm pressing down, the hand won't come up with it, so only the arm will come up. And then I start to rock forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. If you want to start going forwards a little bit more than the backwards rock, then come forwards a little bit more with the knees, and again the same thing. So it's a mobilization, a kind of like an oscillating mobilization of the wrist. The extent of the traction part is important. So pressing down with the right hand, so it stabilizes the left hand on the floor in this case. Pulling up with the left arm, and then rocking forwards. You can bring your right knee, in this case, a little bit further forward, so we can go even further forwards, like so, and there you have it. You can do the same with the flexion component of the wrist as well. You just have to do it the opposite way around. This time the inside of my hands, in this case the little finger, will press down onto the front, and I start to rock backwards. So I'm tractioning up again and I'm rocking backwards. Yeah, simple as that. Around about 30 seconds worth should be enough. 3 lots, 30 seconds. Generally the rule to help to stretch and open up capsules of the joints. and then the wheel pose becomes quite easy. Or it becomes easier. That's it.